Hello viewers and welcome to part 22 of the Clueless Cat Does Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough as per requested by Twitch viewers. More bad monotone dialogue incoming, now where we left off, about to scale some all on our way to get an audience with Hraesvelgr. Our first Heavensward dungeon. Oh, I forgot this one can be a rough one at the start to do healer. The first two trash pulls are pretty easy, albeit maybe a little bit hard on the healers as everyone takes damage. Pay particular attention to the Drake Spurs as they will spawn these little pods that if you go near them will explode and deal poison damage and a dot to everyone that gets hit. Range units may want to look into taking those out, or the healer may just want to pop a simple dot on them. That'll be enough to take care of them. 2 pulls of that and it'll be the first boss. This boss will do targeted AoE that you just have to move out of, called Acid Rain. Right after, they will cast Sweet Scent, which will start drawing hornets towards them. Kill the hornets before they reach the boss and get devoured by it, as they will give the boss a buff for each one that reaches them. They'll also get something that happens over their head, a random player. It'll suck them in and devour any of the hornets in the area, stunning the person that it draws in. Just move away from it because it's going to do an AoE around it. It also does a room-wide AoE that's pretty easy. Just pop a party-wide regen and that'll take care of that. So for the next 2 trash pats, all you really have to worry about is the first one is going to have a fire dragon. It's going to place AoEs on the ground, just step out of those. The second pat is going to have an ice dragon that is going to throw these ice clusters on the ground. Kill them because they will start spawning little icicles that you'll have to deal with. And the faster you kill them, the less little icicles you have to. And that's pretty much will it until the second boss. For this boss, you need to watch out. He'll randomly target a person and do a conal AoE. Just move out of that. He'll do something called a primordial roar, which will do small damage party-wide. This will also cause these jello blobby things to spawn. At the first time, there's going to be 4 of them. They're untargetable. Which one he jumps to will determine what you're supposed to do. If he jumps to a red one, look for a stack marker. You all have to stack on a person. If it's blue, stay away from the person that has the marker. Second time he does it, he will cast this much larger than the rest of them green blob. You need to kill that thing because it will do massive damage if it finishes its cast bar. The rest of the pat pulls are pretty straightforward. At the end of it, you are going to fight against the fire and ice dragons at the same time. Make sure to keep an eye out for both of their AoEs. Tiaman, consort of Nidhogg, we beseech you, grant us safe passage to the mountain's summit. We mean you no harm. As I thought, blind to reason like all the rest, if you would see our mission to its conclusion, you know what must be done. Such rage and rancor, is there truly no other way? So for this one, it'll do a damaging conal AoE to the front of it if you're a tank. Keep it faced away from the party. It will randomly drop an AoE there, and then it'll do lines everywhere, so make sure to try to stand between the lines. It will do targeted AoEs like that. Then it will mark, at the beginning, it will mark 2 of the players with a green comet above their head. Those 2 players need to move away from where the tank is, drop the comets on the outside, and then run back towards the tank so that they don't take as much damage. The idea is to get as far away from those comets as possible. During the second time that it does it, it will do all 3 of the non-tanks. When it glows like this, you must take out its wings. You cannot do any damage to the boss itself. During this, it's going to be non-stop targeting your party for all sorts of ouches. Just make sure if you have the little not green comet above your head, it's going to do targeted AoEs. Move away from that. Once you've killed the wings, it will begin its regular routine, and it's just tank and spank after that. Amber. Twould seem Tiaman was the last. I sense no other dragons nearby. What has happened? Nidhogg, he roars. He knows we are here, then. His fury, it bleeds through the eye. Fear not, I am yet my own master. But that damn worm's wrath burns hotter than flame. Come, the heart of the dragon's homeland yet lies before us. Thus do we add another link to the chain of vengeance. Oh, Saint Shiva, when will it end? When we kill Nidhogg.
To the peak of Sohm, at the end of a perilous mountain path, whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands floating in possibly atop a sea of clouds. To a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for nigh on 1,000 years, they came.
To become errand girl for the Moogles. Hi, I see there's like a quest, but I see there's also an Aery. We have reached it at last, the peak of Sohm. 'Tis said to be the highest mountain in all of Eorzea, you know. I thought it cold in Kurthus, but the air here carries the chill of a dozen winters. Beyond the clouds, Alphino ponders the means by which you might find Hraesvelgr. Now that we have scaled the mountain, there remains the problem of finding Hraesvelgr himself. What manner of creature is that? Amber, do my eyes deceive me, or was that a Moogle? It's a Moogle. It was my understanding that they only dwelled within the Twelves Wood. I certainly never expected to see one in the Churning Mists. If the Moogle does live here, however, he may know where Hraesvelgr makes his lair. Quickly now, before we lose the creature completely. Bah, he's gone. Amber, we must widen our search. I heard that right? He said jump off a cliff? Okay, well that wasn't much of a cliff, but still. He still said jump off cliffs. I can tell there's no signs of Moogles here, but here, click on your destinations anyway. I see no evidence of this Moogle of yours. Are you certain it wasn't a trick of the light? Mayhaps 'twas simply one of these strange plants shifting in a breeze. O Estinian, ye of little faith. I have heard tales of these Moogles, but 'tis the first time I've ever laid eyes on one. They are rather adorable, aren't they? What? Why do you stare at me so? Can I not find a creature adorable? My heart is not truly made of ice. I'm sure I glimpsed the Moogle fleeing in this direction. Could he be concealing himself with magic? Yeah. Mountaintop diplomacy. Alphino seems convinced that the Moogles hold the key to finding Hraesvelgr. Confound it. Could we but enlist the aid of one of the local Moogles, I am certain Hraesvelgr would not elude us for long. Though the eye enables me to sense the presence of dragons, I can only identify Nidhoggs with any certainty. We could wander the mists for days and not know if he were any closer to his brood brother. And those are days we cannot well afford to squander. Shall we divide our forces then? Lady Ysel, might I ask you to question any dragons whom you judge it safe to approach? I shall try, yet I fear the influence of Nidhogg's rage will render most of the Dravanians in the area deaf to reason. And what of you, Master Alphino? I have not yet given up on the Moogles. Amber, come with me to Gridania. I mean to petition the aid of the Moogles' kin in the Twelveswood. After that business with Mogomog, I dare say they will be glad to help us. Okay. Assuming you have no need of me, I shall remain here. Nidhogg senses both the loss of his consort and the coming of the Eye, and his attention is firmly fixed in this direction. I mean to do what I can to hold his gaze, in the hope that it might delay any action against Ishgard. Thank you, Estinian. Come then, Amber, let us make haste for Gridania and rendezvous at Nofika's altar. Ah, but I neglected to tell you. There's an aetheryte of ancient construction here which should make the return journey less arduous. Rather less arduous. Pray do not forget to use it. Yeah, I already did. To Gridania. I sent word to the Elder Seedseer upon arriving in Gridania, and I am pleased to report that she has agreed to grant us an audience. If anyone can help us to contact the Twelveswood Moogles, it is she. We are expected at the Lotus Stand. I trust you are familiar with the conjurer stationed at its entrance? Yes, please. I bid you welcome, friends. The Admiral spoke of having met with you, but 'tis no less of a relief to see you safe and hail with mine own eyes. We humbly thank you for agreeing to receive us upon such short notice, my lady. And for all you have done for us in our absence, would that it were solely to express our gratitude that we came to you this day. Alas, the tides of battle yet dictate our comings and goings. Elder Seedseer, we would beg your wisdom in a matter that may finally bring an end to the Dragonsong War. Speak on, friend. I see, so you seek a means to contact these Moogles of the Churning Mists. Kupo Opopopo! I say, Kupo! Greetings, Kuplokop. To what do we owe the pleasure of your company? I was struck by the sudden urge to bring you some fruit, Connie, and I'm jolly glad I did. Tell me more about these Moogles in the sky, Kupo. I will gladly tell you all I know, though it amounts to precious little. We encountered a Moogle high in the clouds of Devania and had hoped that you and your kin in the Twelveswood might agree to facilitate a meeting. Pray correct me if I am mistaken, Kuplo, but there are legends, are there not, which speak of Moogles who dwelled beyond the clouds. Indeed there are, Kupo. Long, long ago, back when the world was still young, they say my ancestors served the gods up in the heavens. Of course, that was before their masters took to bickering like spoiled children. Ah, yes, the tale of good King Moggle Mog XII. He is revered for holding fast to a rope of miraculous length, that his subjects might climb down from the sky and escape to the world below. Ignoring the more fanciful aspects of the tale, it may well be that Kuplo's ancestors hailed from the churning mists. Given how long his kin have resided in the Twelveswood, it is perfectly possible that the details of their history have faded into myth. Indeed, Master Alphino, such stories oft contain a measure of truth. 'Tis like that the Moogles of the Churning Mist tell similar tales of the world below. I can well imagine why the one you encountered fled at your approach. Ooh, fleeing second nature to us. We often hide when the larger races come trampling through the forest. Of course, where there's one Moogle, there's bound to be more. Which is why I've decided to take a trip to the clouds, Kupo. They surely won't be afraid to talk to me. I was hoping you might say that, Master Kuplo. You will accompany us, then? Just you try and stop me, Kupo. I'll admit, the thought of venturing outside the Twelveswood is a bit unsettling, but I can hardly refuse a chance to meet my distant cousins. If you will have me, I too will accompany you on this venture. I lend my voice to your cause as an ambassador of Gridania. My lady, are you certain? How oft has our nation turned to the signs of the seventh dawn in its hour of need? How oft have we asked the Warrior of Light to risk her life to save our own? Full many times, I say to you, and never have they refused us. Thus do I choose this day to offer mine aid to our allies for the good of the realm. Is that not just? A most unexpected and welcome offer, Elder Seetsier. We would be honored by your presence. Welp. Pray return to the summit and inform our companions of these developments. I will serve as the Elder Seedsier's guide on the journey back to Sohm. It being a path I have already trodden, I do not anticipate any great difficulties. Besides, we shall have the Elder Seedsier's personal guard to escort us. Okay. Well met, Warrior of Light. Nidhogg is not stirred, but he watches us, unblinking. The Elder Seedseer herself answers your call. Then there is naught to do but wait. They are here, Amber. Greetings, my friends. I am happy to report that our journey was mercifully uneventful, devoid as the road was of Dravanians. 'Twould seem the dragons have abandoned Sohm for the churning mists. Elder Seetsier, may I present to you Sir Estinian, Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. 'Tis an honor to meet you, Sir Estinian. I have heard many tales of your order's extraordinary skill and courage. Friends, I feel it only right to inform you that we are not alone. The Moogles are all around us even as we speak, and I should imagine they are more than a little concerned by the horde of strangers that have descended upon their home. Mayhap now would be an opportune moment to introduce ourselves. This should serve. They're hiding, of course, but there are so many of them, Kupo. I am Kani-sana. My companions and I have braved the long road from the Twelswood to share words with you. On this, the occasion of our first meeting, we bring an offering of light and wind. Ooh, such a gentle and pleasing glow, Kupo. I am Moglin, the chieftain of this Moogle clan. Chief Moglin, it is an honor to meet you. Greetings, I am Kuplo Kopp, ambassador of the Twelswood Moogles. A Moogle from the world below? Your hide is of a different hue, but that palm is unmistakable. I might need a moment here, Kupo. My companions were no less surprised to learn of your existence here amongst the clouds. I hope they did not startle you overmuch in their eagerness to make your acquaintance. Full well can I imagine your wariness. I am told that men have not walked here in nigh on 1,000 winters. Mayhap you will forgive them their forwardness when I unfold to you the grave matter which first brought them into your midst. My companions crave an audience with the great worm Hraesvelgr that they might negotiate an end to the war twixt man and dragon. An end to war, you say? I trust you, Kani-sana. The light of peace shines brightly within your soul. But I'm afraid the same cannot be said of your friends. To be plain, we did not hide ourselves because they were the first of your kind to be seen here in 1,000 years. Well, not only because of that. We hid because we smelled dragon blood. These skies are home to many, many dragons. While some crave peace, such as Hraesvelgr, many others crave the opposite, such as Nidhogg. Suffice it to say, we are worried that the presence of your blood-splattered warrior friends will attract the attention of the nastier kind, and invite destruction into our happy home. Now, just a moment, chieftain. Amber here may have doled out the odd thrashing or two, but it's always been for a really good reason. She is a champion of the Twelswood Moogles, and I'll not hear her good name slandered. Now, Ambassador, let's not ruffle each other's fur. I shall of course take your testimony into consideration. If I may, chieftain, there is little room for trust twixt strangers. Might we not take this opportunity to learn more of each other? An excellent suggestion, Kupo. In the interest of fostering friendship and keeping an eye on you, I extend to you the hospitality of Moogles. Prove yourselves worthy of our assistance, and it will be yours. I shall be watching, Kupo. In other words, get to know them and be forced to do their chores. Yeah, got it. Tell me, in the world down below, do all of your kind look so different from one another? It must be terribly disconcerting. What was it Kuplokop called you again? Amber? Your names are as odd as your appearance. Have you ever considered a nice Moogle name? Moglin is taken, by the way, Kupo. As are Moghan, Mogmug, and Mogwin. These being the names of the 3 wise Moogles who will administer the momentous challenges that I have devised to measure your worth. I call them the Trials of Trustworthiness. Undertake these trials and we shall soon see whether or not you are worthy of our aid. Moghan's trial. Moghan would test your trustworthiness with a trial. Hello, yes, I'm Moghan, the foremost alchemist in Mogholm, if you must know. If your tummy's gloopy or rings are droopy, I have a potion to fix that. Or I would if I didn't keep running out of ingredients. Luckily, you're here to do my trial. Yes, go forth, mighty adventurer, and mightily pluck 3 sprigs of cloud's breath for me. You'll find it blooming near the entrance to Ale Tom. It's not the safest of places, so don't let yourself be too distracted by the pretty flowers, Kupo. Mogmug's trial. Mogmug would test your trustworthiness with a trial. Yes, you have the pleasure of speaking with Mogmug? I know, I am the fluffiest, most enchanting creature you've ever laid eyes upon, Kupo. It isn't easy being this adorable. I can barely take a stroll outside with those relentless Dravenians throwing themselves at me. Why, they look as if they might just gobble me right up. In any case, fleeing their overbearing adulation is growing a bit tiresome. Your trial, madame, is this. Find these ardent Archaeosaurus and slap some manners into them, Kupo. Perhaps a firm smack on the snout will teach them to appreciate my charm from afar. Oh dear. It's the last trial. Mogwin. Mogwin's trial. Mogwin would test your trustworthiness with a trial. Mogwin's the name and art is my game. When it comes to painting, there are none in Mogholm who can match my talent with a brush, Kupo. I know why you have come. Chieftain Moglin has demanded that I test your trustworthiness. But as I trust no one to create art that will satisfy me, I instead charge you with retrieving a masterpiece I seem to have misplaced. It was an ambitious and innovative work guaranteed to fetch at least 4 Kupo nuts on the open market. You must find it. Question the masses. Surely a pebble painted with such vibrant color and unmistakable panache cannot have escaped the notice of every Moogle in Mogholm. I have to find a pebble. Mogwin is missing his masterpiece, Kupo? Oh, you mean that paint-smeared mess of a pebble. I've not seen it recently, a fact for which my eyes are profoundly grateful. Mr. Mogwin has misplaced his masterpiece, Kupo? Oh, happy day. If I am the swifter in finding it, I'll soon have a genuine Mogwin for the price of a little perspiration. Honestly, who has 4 Kupo nuts just lying about to spend on such luxuries? I don't know much about his stone, but I do know that Mogwin's been creeping out the back way to Sommal Summit from time to time. Kupo, maybe he left it up there. Nope, it is down. Well, what did you find out, Kupo? Yes. Now that you mention it, I do seem to recall leaving my pebble out in the sun to dry. Ahem, the second part of your trial commences. Go adventure and retrieve my masterpiece before some art-starved admirer swipes the stone for himself. Oh, good grief. Okay, it's further up, but I think I'm just gonna go do this stuff. Screw your stone guy. One more. I need to find one more piece of... Just no idea where the heck else it could be. Did you have any trouble finding Cloud's Breath? I do need it quite urgently, you know. Yeah, I found you some. Oh yes, these are perfect, Kupo. Now I have the main ingredient for my palm tonic. Speaking of which, how are you feeling, miss? Should you ever feel your palm losing its bounce, then I'm your Moogle, Kupo. Okay. You were able to humble my Dravinian devotees? Wonderful. You're as capable as I am captivating, Kupo. Still, my precious perfection does not excuse those louts from pursuing me so mercilessly, their tongues lolling and bellies rumbling. The Dravanians and their ilk have much to learn about acceptable acts of admiration. Now to find a painted pebble. painted stone. And sorry, what was that? Find the hole and just jump into it? Okay. Geronimo! Do you have it, Kupo? Is my masterpiece safe? Yeah, here's a rock. Yes, this is my work. Is it not exquisite? I call it Contemplations of Zenith. Thank you, madame. At last I can exchange my art for those delectable Kupo nuts. Chieftain Moglin will hear of this valorous deed. I've done the chores. Can I have a popsicle now? Moglin's judgment. Chieftain Moglin is ready to pass judgment on your trial performance. Amber, if that is what you insist on calling yourself, you have completed the trials of trustworthiness administered by the taskmasters Moghin, Mogmug, and Mogwin. During these grueling tests of character, I closely observed your conduct, as well as that of your companions. And I am decided, Kupo, gather your friends before me now so that I need not repeat myself needlessly. Is that needed? Are these trials over then? My tasks have been little more than household chores. If our hosts elect not to grant their aid after working us like pack chocobos, I shall demand compensation in Kupo nuts out of principle. But I hope it will not come to that. Let us hear the chieftain's verdict, shall we? He's Kupo for Kupo nuts. How go your trials, Warrior of Light? I myself have been sent on a number of expeditions to chastise the local dragon population. Did not their chieftain wish to avoid inflaming the Dravanians? Such contradictions aside, our hosts seem entranced by the height of my leap. They compared me to Mog, a lance-wielding Moogle warrior of Eld who also favored such attacks. 'Twas meant as a compliment, I expect, but I doubt these furry lumps could outleap a Carcoal lamb, much less a dragoon. Conclude your business here swiftly, Amber. I like not this place. Of course he wouldn't. Standing here in Mogholm, my thoughts turn inevitably to the legend of good King Mogomog XII and his seat in the heavens. Like most, I thought it no more than a myth, a story for younglings that grew with the telling. But with every passing moment I become more certain that we have discovered the origin of the tale. Full eager am I to hear what the chieftain has to say. I think she's the only one that's happy. What sorcery is this, that my heart should stir at mere fluffiness? Amber, I was... No matter. What is it? Chieftain Moglin has made a decision? Well, let us not keep him waiting then. We become such friends, Kupo. My Moogle cousins love to sing and dance as much as I do. Chieftain Moglin has finally come to a decision, has he? Well, I suppose I'd better flutter over and see him then. Never have I seen such determined workers, Kupo. It would have taken us moons to complete all those dreary chores and niggling errands. And have our labors proven the purity of our intentions, Chieftain? Without a doubt. In fact, there was never really all that much doubt to begin with. You were, after all, already friends with a fellow Moogle. But, you see, before any meeting with Hraesvelgr could take place, certain preparations needed to be made. And what better way to help you pass the time than having you perform all the tiresome tasks that no one ever wants to do, Kupo? Oh dear, the horn! Bring out the horn! Quickly now! We blow on this wondrous instrument whenever we wish to speak with the Great Worm, Kupo. We haven't perhaps been treating what the care it deserves of late, and I think Moggen may have sat on it. So we needed some time for cleaning and polishing and straightening. No lasting harm done, though. Now you need simply head to Zenith, the worm's dwelling to the west, and give the horn a good toot. We are in your debt, Chieftain. Thanks to your noble gift, we shall finally have a chance to plead our case to Hraesvelgr. Very possibly, yes, but I wouldn't get my hopes up too high, Kupo. The old worm isn't terribly fond of, Your concern is appreciated, but I'm quite certain that Hraesvelgr will welcome our overtures. Should we ever arrive at his lair? Come, we have squandered enough time already. He's not happy. Chieftain Moglin, we thank you for your gracious hospitality. Though we must soon take our leave, I pray that we may continue to nurture the shoots of this new-sprung friendship twixt earth and sky. Of course, Kupo. Visit whenever you wish. Consider Moghome your home amongst the clouds. Thanks for the help, Kupo. I doubt I would ever have found time for all those rotten chores. Hey, it wasn't my idea. If the chieftain had spent a little less time sitting about and a little more time chieftaining, things would never have gotten so messy in the first place. And he was the one who sat on the horn, by the way. But now all the errands are done and the horn is fixed, so all's well that ends well, hey, Kupo? Leaving Moghome. Moghen is ready to lead you out of Moghome. Well, I expect you're eager to be on your way. Did I mention your friend was looking for you, Kupo? If not, Alphino is looking for you. I'll be waiting just outside, stretching my wings. Let me know when you're ready to depart. To the best of my knowledge, we have all that we need for our trip to Zenith, and I believe the Elder Seeds here and her retinue will soon be making the journey back to Gridania. It would be remiss of us, I think, not to convey our gratitude to them prior to going our separate ways, shall we? Alphino, Amber, I do humbly thank you for what has been a most enlightening experience. Were it not for your pioneering spirit, the existence of these Moogles might never have been revealed to us. 'Tis we who should be thankful, Elder Seeds here. Were it not for your timely diplomacy, they would never have chosen to reveal themselves at all. And 'twas your presence, Kuplokop, that ultimately won us their trust. It would have taken great courage to leave the sanctuary of the Twelveswood, and we are exceedingly glad you did. It was my pleasure, Kupo. I've made so many new friends and have so many fantastic tales to tell my kinsmoogles back home. And it is our home that we must now return. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal, my friends. Safe journey, Elder Seeds here. We too must be on our way. Hraesvelgr awaits. Warrior of Light, pray attend closely to your companions. Sir Estinian, beneath that stoical facade, a storm of anguish sees unseen. Okay. kind of think I figured that out, though. He's most definitely not a happy camper. Have you said your goodbyes and dabbed away your tears, Kupo? Then we are indeed ready to go. The road to Zenith. Mogkin has volunteered to lead you to Zenith. As Chieftain Moglin already explained, the shiny instrument we gave you is the best means of grabbing Hraesvelgr's attention. I'll come along and show you the way to Zenith. That's the big place where you'd need to blow the horn. First things first, though, we need to make for Asa. Oh, and watch out for rampaging dragons. Maybe that should have been the first thing, Kupo. To the north, and I guess a little east. Killing dragons along the way, I'd imagine. Yep. Up, around, and over to the west. And then to the south. The summoning stone off. Things were a bit bitey for a while there, but I think we've arrived in one piece, Kupo. I wonder what has the dragons so awfully snappy. I mean, the bad ones are always bad, but they seem worse than usual. Waiting for the wind to change. Mogham seems fretful about the weather. We may have a small problem, Kupo. When the winds are high like this, Hraesvelgr invariably abandons his lofty perch and heads to the lands below to hunt. If you tried blowing the horn now, I doubt he'd hear it. I suggest we stop at the clearing up ahead and rest until the wind dies down. This should do nicely, Kupo. The winds will likely have died down by tomorrow, but until then we might as well make ourselves comfortable. If we must interrupt our journey so close to its ends, I suppose this place is as good as any. And mayhap a brief respite from the hardships of the road will help to clear our minds in readiness for the coming parlay. Very well then, I believe a campfire is in order. Leave the gathering of fuel to me. I acquired a keen nose for firewood during my time in the frozen wastes of Kurthus. Clear our minds? 'Tis Master Alphino whose mind needs clearing. Thought of meeting a great worm in the flesh has befuddled the boy. Did you see him stroll away as if these ruins were not crawling with deadly beasts? Follow him, Amber, and see that the wildlife does not make a meal of our young friend. We will have the camp ready by the time you return. Okay. I mean, if they want to nom him. Well, he's right there, but I have to go kill things anyway. Okay. There you go, kiddo. I saved you from things that weren't even close. I see I was right to worry about the boy's safety. Once Alphino returns with the wood, we can see about supper. The Ice Queen has filled a pot with what looked like stew ingredients ready for the fire. Few things compared to the simple pleasure of sitting beside a crackling campfire of one's own making. So speaks the great explorer. Until recently, you wouldn't have recognized firewood if it came with kindling and a flint. 'Tis well you instructed me so patiently then, but yes, left to my own devices, I would have been compelled to signal to Ysayle with a pile of damp leaves. I was born the pampered son of a Charlian dignitary, and, alongside my twin, became the youngest student ever to be accepted into the studium. How proud I was to match wits with scholars and philosophers, how ignorant of mine own shortcomings. That hubris invited manipulation and betrayal, and led to the downfall of the Scions. We all of us are guilty of similar ignorance. How many men lay down their lives never knowing what it is they fight for, never questioning that which they have been taught to believe. 'Twas only upon meeting Hraesvelgr that I learned the truth hidden within our history. Were it not for that chance encounter, I would never have vowed to tear down the Holy See and expunge the falsehoods with which it fans the flames of conflict. I would have lived and died in ignorance. That the truth has driven me to do such terrible things I cannot deny. But I'd rather sin in the pursuit of peace than imagine myself virtuous for perpetrating a needless war. If this journey has taught me anything, it is the importance and difficulty of holding to one's convictions in the face of failure, of striving always to replace one's ignorance with knowledge. You are well on your way, Master Alphino. At your age, I was but a fool swinging a spear with scarcely a thought in my head. Even now, I struggle to acknowledge the misconceptions under which I have labored. Sitting here amongst these grand ruins, how can I deny that man and dragon once lived in peace? But for all that such an age existed, we are now in a time of war. Nidhogg killed my family, and no quirk of history will exonerate him. I may be ignorant of how the Dragon Song War began, but if we do not put an end to this conflict now, I can say for certainty that will only breed more vengeful souls such as mine. In my hands resides the power to vanquish a great worm. If Ishgard's survival rests on me wielding that power, I will slay Nidhogg myself, orders or no. Estinian, you gave your word. My word is contingent upon the success of our parlay. Show me the strength of your convictions, Lady Iceheart. Convince Hraesvelgr of the righteousness of your cause. Doubt not but that I shall, Dragoon. Well, winds willing, we shall have our answers on the morrow. Let us sleep now and face our fate with the rising of the sun. Heart of Ice. Maghan is gazing meaningfully at the path to Zenith. The campfire was so cozy, I must have fallen asleep, Kupo. But do you feel how the winds have shifted? They will have borne Hraesvelgr back to the skies above Zenith, I'm sure of it. This is your chance to climb to the highest floor of the palace and summon him from a toot on that shiny horn. So, I'll be heading back now, if it's all the same to you. Good luck, Kupo. It was nice knowing you. He has no faith. And a summoning stone. Thank you. And this place is big. Aery. Mortals, why do you disturb my solitude?
Hraesvelgr.
Thou speakest the name of a creature that but awaiteth the release of oblivion. Leave me.
By the 12. Mine ears hear the tongue of dragons, yet the meaning rings clear within my mind. How can that be?
Hraesvelgr, do you not remember me? 'Twas I whom you found in Dravania. I who glimpsed the truth about your past, about Shiva.
Do not speak her name, mortal.
But speak it I must. I have summoned Shiva's soul from the beyond and offered myself as her vessel. She has made her heart known to me.
Foolish girls, thinkest thou my beloved spirit hath descended from the heavens? That the secrets of her heart are thine to know?
I have surrendered mine to her. Do you not see, my love? I am Shiva reborn.
She's delusional. Gullible fool. The light but illuminated the past for thee. It did not grant thee omniscience. The spirit thou hast summoned belongeth not to Shiva. 'Tis but a shade conjured by thine own fancy. In an age long past, mine own kin were guilty of like folly. Beguiled by the Dark One's lies, they attempted to resurrect a king among worms. Yet the divinity they called forth merely bore the semblance of my fallen brood brother. Such gods are not summoned, but created, phantoms spun from the threads of misplaced faith.
Then the spirit that answered me
was but thy dream of Shiva. Thy soul hath been corrupted by a deity of thine own making, child.
Be that as it may, Lord Hraesvelgr, Izel's desire to heal the rift between man and dragon is real, and it has borne us this far. We would spare both our kind and yours the ravages of this senseless war. Pray join your voice to ours in a call for peace and forgiveness.
The tale of thy kind is one of avarice, treachery, and death, and thou would speak to me of peace? Hark thee, mortal, to the naked truth, then tell me thou deservest forgiveness. 1200 years ago, my beloved Sheever's sacrifice served to bring an end to the war twixt man and dragon, paving the way for an age of peace and cooperation. 2 centuries of harmony were to follow, during which time the Elezen learned much about us, not least that the eyes of a great worm are the wellspring of his strength. 'Twas out of the selfish desire to possess this strength that King Thordan then conspired to undo all that our peoples had achieved together. With the aid of his leal knights, that most noble of Elezen lured my brood sister, Ratatosk, into an ambush and took from her that which he craved. Fain would I strike the image from my mind, yet still the scene doth linger of my brood sister's tattered corpse, defiled by her Elezen allies. They had torn out her eyes and feasted upon them in the manner of wild beasts. Yet that was not all, for from their bloody banquet the fiends had gained strength beyond that of mortal men. Even now I labor to comprehend the enormity of their betrayal. Nidhogg was the first to learn of the atrocity, and he took to the skies, hungry for vengeance. But though he slew Thordan and some few of his knights, their fellow butchers knew only too well where to aim their spears, and with now practiced savagery they set forth about my brood brother, sending him flailing from the field. Such is the truth the Holy See would keep hidden. Such was the beginning of the Dragon Song War. 'Tis a song my kind shall ne'er forget, e'en should 10,000 years pass and Ishgard crumble into dust.
Your tale bears scant resemblance to the one I was taught. How convenient that it should absolve your kind of all responsibility. But tell me, dragon, why should I believe your version of events?
What thou choosest to believe is immaterial. The betrayal that yet haunts mine every waking moment is no less than the truth to my kind. And Nidhogg meaneth for Thordan's people to suffer for this sin till the end of days. That which thou imaginest a war of extinction is but a punishment, a siege of the spirit. Hast thou not seen those who tire of the torment, those who abandon their own and side with dragonkind?
Ishgard's so-called heretics.
Know that all the traitors' progeny bear a trace of Ratatosk's essence, but a single sip of our blood is enough to awaken it.
Then the seed lies within us.
'Tis for this reason that those who abandon their loyalties are rewarded with a drink, and thus are they transformed, to join the ranks of Nidhogg's ever-growing army as newborn dragons. One by one, through death or defection, my brood brother shall account for all of the betrayer's children.
Ye gods, I have borne witness to such a transformation. Looked on as a heretic assumed the shape of a dragon. I imagined it some manner of Dravanian enchantment. But if any Ishgardian regardless of allegiance, has such potential within them. 12 forgive us. To think of all the dragons we've slain!
There will always be some, of course, who choose to fight until the bitter end, like thee, Dragoon. But struggle as thou might, thy youthful vigor will be spent ere thou reachest 210, and Nidhogg shall remain to torment thine offspring.
Oft have I wondered why Nidhogg did not simply raze Ishgard to the ground. Now I have my answer. He has no intention of winning the Dragonsong War, for it is no war at all, but vengeance, an eternal requiem sung for his murdered sister.
Thou hast the right of it, Dragon Slayer. Comprehendest thou now the futility of thy quest?
I have not come this far only to admit defeat. We can still return the eye to Nidhogg and beg forgiveness for our ancestors' crimes. Mayhap our words will sway him.
Stubborn child, thou thinkest in mortal terms. Our perception of time is too broad for thee to grasp. 'Tis a simple matter for thee to offer thine apologies. Thou didst not perpetrate the crime. Despite thy visions, the deeds of history seem distant to thee. For a worm such as Nidhogg, however, that history is yet part of his present, as fresh as the blood that did gush from Ratatoskr's wounds. How could he not be driven mad? 'Tis only by the calming embrace of Shiva's soul that mine own fury hath not consumed me. But let us speak no more of what is done. My faith in your kind is spent, and I would be alone. Hraesvelgr was every bit as awe-inspiring as I imagined. His voice fairly dripped with power. The will behind his words so undeniable that it transcended my ignorance of the dragon's tongue. 'Tis but a pity that I misliked what he said. So far did we travel, even into the very heavens themselves, only to be dismissed like unruly children. And far from mitigating this humiliation, the hidden truths we have learned serve only to prove that our grand mission of peace was destined to fail from the first. Nothing will deter Nidhogg from his course. Money. The Worm's Lair. Alphino is considering your party's next course of action. Kill Nidhogg.
Well, what do you propose we do now? I, for one, am intent on continuing to the east.
What is there to be found in the east?
Nidhogg's lair, the Aery, is said to lie in that direction. And the eye tells me he is near.
You cannot still mean to slay him.
You cannot still mean to stop me. I have been true to my word, and aided you in this fool's errand with Hraesvelgr. But your efforts at parley have come to naught, Lady Iceheart. I would see Ishgard saved, and for that, Nidhogg must die.
With the tale of our ancestors' vile betrayal yet ringing in your ears, you speak of continuing this war?
Nay, lady. I would but pierce its vengeful heart. When Nidhogg dies, this war shall die with him.
A moment, Estinian. You yourself spoke of the Great Worm's strength, that you believed him powerful enough to raise your city to the ground. How then are we few to challenge him? Even behind the stout walls of Ishgard, with an army of knights manning the defenses, our victory would be hard won. Yet you propose to contend with the beast in his own lair.
In close combat, this will afford us an advantage. And with two, Azure Dragoons working in unison. Who can say what might be possible? But such speculation is meaningless if we cannot even find the worm. Our first task must be to seek out Nidhogg's lair.
The story of this nation grows bloodier by the moment. Must death always be answered with more of the same?
Such is the way of things, I fear. I shall consider it a miracle if mine armor is not stained crimson ere this conflict is ended.
That I should be blinded by my own lies. Everything I believed, everything I thought I was, gone. All gone.
Leave her. Your words will not reach her now. And we have not the time to wait for her to gather up the pieces of her shattered faith.
Welp. Geronimo. I have to go around. So much for the most direct route. Whoops. Whoopsies. We'll ignore the fact that I just attacked random enemy.
Is that it?
Aye, that would be the Aery. I feel Nidhogg's presence through the eye, his caustic hatred gnawing at my soul. 'Twould seem the death of his consort has put him on guard. Mark how he wards his lair with tempestuous winds.
A similar barrier once barred our entrance to the primal Garuda's domain, until we discovered the means by which it could be penetrated. Mayhap it is time we called upon Master Garland. 'Twill be just like the good old days, no?
Money. New winds, old friends. Estinian would have you enlist the aid of Sid Garland. A force of sufficient power to break through Primal's defenses might conceivably grant us access to the Aery. But I can offer no better solution. Pray, consult this engineer friend of yours. Very well, on the condition that you swear not to lure Nidhogg from his lair in our absence. And steal the glory for myself, you mean? Nay, I am not so selfish as that. Contact me by link pearl when your preparations are complete, and we shall set forth from Ishgard together. Okay. I suggest we rendezvous back at Saint Renette's Forum, Amber. From what I gleaned of the Holy Sea's decidedly ambitious airship project, Sid would still be in Ishgard. Just say Sky Steel Manufacturer. I would have known what that is. When last you saw Master Garland, he was advising the Ishgardians on their ailing airship, correct? In that case, he might still be at Camp Cloudtop. Failing that, we could try the airship landing, or maybe even the Sky Steel Manufacturer. But let us not waste time searching aimlessly. Someone in the city is sure to know where to find him. The question is who? Ceramic would seem the obvious choice, but there is no guaranteeing he will be able to aid us an audience or grant us an audience at short notice. Ah, I have it! Count Edmont's youngest son prides himself on knowing all the Holy Sea's juiciest rumors. Let us return to the manor and see if Lord Emanolin is about. I don't want to babysit today. Take me in. Ah, the hero returns. How goes the fight, old girl? Stop calling me old girl. Well, I trust. In search of a Sid Garland, you say? Then say no more. The tavern's full of talk, and the name of said silver-haired genius has cropped up more often than most. I hear he's been tasked with getting that monstrous airship the Holy See commissioned to actually fly. 'Twould seem the project has been plagued with mishaps from the first. In any case, Garland Ironworks employees are known to frequent the airship landing, and I'll wager their master does too. The airship landing. Yes, I thought as much. Come, Amber, we must find Sid and trouble him for his expert opinion. Can I just, like, kick him in the shins every time he calls me old girl? Amber, Alphino, how fare you both? Not terribly well, judging by your faces. Greetings, Master Garland. I'm sure it will come as a little surprise when I tell you we have need of a favor. Another wind barrier? And you say it was conjured by Nidhogg? The Enterprise could certainly take you where you needed to go, but she would not fare well against dragons. She's agile for a ship her size, but not that agile. The Dravinians would fly rings around her. And if they took it into their heads to incinerate the rigging, there would be precious little we could do to avoid them. But there must be something we can do, some manner of weapon we can employ. Estinian stands vigil at the edge of the churning mist, but we do not know how much longer. All right. I didn't say it was impossible. I said it was impossible for the Enterprise. We need a smaller boat. Biggs, Wedge, it's time we gave that new toy of yours a proper field test. It's probably best if I let the lad show you. Come on, the manufacturer is not far. Our little project just inside. Oh, you're gonna like this one.
Feast your eyes upon our latest and greatest feat of engineering. We call it a mana cutter.
After you put down Gaius, Wedge and me struck out on our own for a bit, and started work on the successor to the tiny Bronco.
Impressive little thing, isn't she? My talent for ship design has plainly rubbed off on them. They've adapted the principles of corrupted crystal technology and constructed a mechanism which converts ether from its surroundings into elemental wind. Said wind is then harnessed by the specially engineered sails, providing the craft with propulsion and lift. All in all, a most elegant solution. I'm actually a little upset that I didn't think of it myself.
The design does, however, come with one small flaw.
The energy conversion ratio's bloody awful. To generate enough power to get you off the ground, you need to be in an area awash with predominantly wind-aspected ether.
In other words, there are a few places you can fly, lots of places you can't.
The new Ishgardian airship hasn't left the boys much time for tinkering, meaning it may be a while before this particular project takes off. If you'll forgive the pun.
Tataru, what's happened?
I've been looking all over for you. There's been word from Ulda. It's about Her Grace the Sultana.
It seems you're required elsewhere. Leave the Mana Cutter with us. We'll see that she's airworthy and suitably equipped to slice through those winds. You, meanwhile, should concentrate on providing Rauban and the Sultana whatever help they need.
A general summons. Tataru has news for you from Ulda. General Rauban says they may have uncovered the Sultana's whereabouts, and he wants you, by which I mean both of you, to go to the Waking Sands right away and help with the investigation. Come, Amber, pressing through Ishgard's plight. Maybe our presence here will not serve to hasten the Minecutter's completion. Let us return to the troubled lands of Thanalin and lend what aid we may. Tataru, have our friends at the congregation send a message to Estinian. Tell him we have identified a solution to our problem, but that it will take some time to prepare. As you wish, Master Alphino. To the Waking Sands, Warrior of Light. 'Tis past time Ulda was delivered from the darkness. Okay, you know the darkness is money and greed, right? Pray return. Sleeping Dunes. Into a place where I can fly.
Thank you for coming.
No thanks are necessary, General. I trust your recuperation continues apace.
I cannot complain. Thanks to Higiri and her ministrations, I've regained much of the strength I lost during my imprisonment.
I gather you have made progress in the search for Her Grace.
Aye, some good fortune at last. A few days past, Dulala informed us that a sizable shipment of alchemical supplies had been delivered to the palace.
With Papa Shan's assistance, I set out to ascertain the source and nature of the shipment. My inquiries led me to Frondale's frontistery. There, I learned that an order had been placed for a curious substance designed to sustain patients trapped in death-like slumber. An invention of the former head alchemist, apparently.
A death-like slumber? This cannot be a coincidence.
It lends some weight to Dulala's claims, aye. Her Grace is likely somewhere within the palace, abed but alive.
Before making any attempt to extricate the Sultana, however, it seemed prudent to learn what manner of substance was used to induce her torpor. To that end, I made inquiries as to the whereabouts of the one most like to have administered it. The lady-in-waiting, Meriel. We sent for you as soon as we learned of her location. All that remains is to apprehend the woman.
We shall find our cat's paw in the Silver Bazaar. But we must tread carefully. The market is not the bustling place it once was, and someone is sure to mark our coming. Should they inform the monetarists, we'll have a fight on our hands.
We must be prepared for the worst, and being short an arm, I thought it wise to take another in its stead. What say you, Warrior of Light? Will you lend me yours? Then I pity the bastard that stands in our way. Come, my friends, for Nanamo, and for Ul'dah!
Our target is Muriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting, a woman of Midlander heritage. I am told the two of you have met. Our sources indicate that she left the palace shortly after the incidents and quietly rejoined the dwindling population of the Silver Bazaar. I suggest we begin by questioning the market's residents and confirm that Muriel is still in hiding there. Fun game, right? Horizon, then. Do I know of any returning residents? Gods, don't tell me they're starting to come back. My masters will not be pleased to hear of this. And what brings you to our lonely little hamlet? I believe the arrival of your entourage just about doubled our population. Looking for Muriel, you say? If you're hoping to lure her back to Ul'dah, you may as well give up now. The girl's done with city life. Muriel? Aye, she's here. Left the city for good, she says. Barely leaves her house, though. It's the one closest to the market entrance.
You are Muriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting?
I know no one of that name. Pray excuse me. General Alden!
We will have the truth from you, girl.
Mayhap it would be better coming from me.
Lonorito, you'd best talk fast.
As you know, Teleji Adeleji's Cartano reclamation bill was no more than a facade. a means to get his grubby little hands on that Allagan monstrosity Omega. When he learned of Nanamo's intention to abdicate, however, he was forced to amend his plans. Suddenly, assassination seemed the most promising way to further his ambitions. I am told Teleji had discovered a maid in whose veins ran the blood of House Thorn, a new, more pliable puppet to sit the throne. 'Twould have caused an uproar, of course, but few could have contested her claim. 'Twas plain that Teleji's wild machinations had outgrown our ability to control them. So I decided to usurp his scheme and left the fool to seal his own demise.
And what of Nanamo?
Oh, I have no desire to harm her grace. 'Twould profit me little to destabilize our government. Thus did I employ young Mariel here to administer a potent sleeping potion in place of a poison. You should know, General, that your dear friend Ilberd was fully aware of my plan. I had him lie about the assassination as a means to prime your rage against Teleji. We weren't entirely sure how you would react, but things went rather better than expected.
You conniving little worm! You had your claws in the Crystal Braves before their first recruit had sworn to serve!
But of course, when a new game begins, 'tis only prudent to have a piece on the board. Ilberd was mine. Truth be told, a significant proportion of the Braves' initial endowment was also mine. With such large sums moving about, 'twas a rather trifling matter to disguise my own contribution. Ah, Ilberd. I secured his services with a promise to support his cause once my authority had been solidified. I swear, the man thinks of naught but prizing Alamigo from the grasp of the Empire. Unlike you, General, the poor fellow seems quite unable to forsake the land of his forefathers. Mayhap that's why he called you a traitor to your people and a disgrace to your homeland, amongst other things. What was it he always compared you to? Oh, yes, an overgrown lapdog begging for scraps at the Sultana's table. Oh, how we laughed. Alas, Ilberd's entertaining little outbursts eventually gave way to wearisome tirades, and the zealous brute became rather unruly. I had no wish to see you executed, you understand, but he would not take no for an answer. Rest assured, his employment with me has long since ended. Which brings us neatly to the present. What say you, General? Both you and the Sultana are alive. We have one corpse and one fugitive, and preparations have been made to restore your good name. Shall we cry quits and start again with a blank ledger?
Punt him.
The hells we will! Do you honestly expect me to forgive and forget? After all you've done? You're guilty of high treason!
Stay your blade, Master Alden. You yourself are not innocent. Or have you forgotten your own crime in executing Teleji Adeleji without trial? Though you acted out of loyalty to the Sultana, such deeds are in violation of both the word and spirit of the law. If you would, Lord Lolorito?
This potion will wake the Sultana from her slumber. Consider it a gesture of conciliation. You will find her grace resting comfortably within her private chambers. Should you doubt my word, I shall willingly accompany you to the palace as your hostage.
I like not your motives, Lolorito. But you saved the Sultana's life, and for that, you have my gratitude.
Rauban Aldin, you are hereby reinstated as General of the Immortal Flames. The citizens of Ul'dah shall once more be united under Nanamo Ul'Namo, and together we shall usher in a new age of prosperity.
How about fairness for all? Welp. By the 12, I feared Lord Lolorito's arrival would herald another bloodbath. Little did I suspect that he of all people would gift us the means to rouse the Sultana. Awakening in Ul'dah. Alphinaud would see this dark chapter in Ul'dah's history brought to a close. Shall we also make our way to Ul'dah? I should imagine Bartholomew has been instructed to admit us. Flame General Robon mentioned you might be coming. Please, this way if you will.
I was having the longest dream.
'Tis time to wake up, Your Grace. Another day begins in Thanalan, and the sun blazes bright upon the sands. Her Grace is awoken. The palace physician assures me she's none the worse for her slumber.
Yay.
I believe Her Grace will soon resume her plans to place the government of Uldar into the hands of its citizens. Whatever path she chooses to take, I shall walk it with her. And we shall tread slowly, lest the nation be unsettled in our wake.
Her Grace's compassion is a shining beacon to us all. But what our city truly thrives upon is competition. 'Tis in the struggle against our rivals that opportunities are seized and fortunes made. And with the Empire on the offensive once more, now would hardly seem the time to turn our system of government upon its head.
Are you privy to new intelligence, my lord?
I would hardly call it new. Remind me, what was the name of that enormous Imperial warship which met its end in Mordona? Oh, wait, I have it. The Agrius. Yes, well, 'twould appear that the Garleans have been hard at work on another such vessel.
How close are they to completing this ship? Is it operational?
Its maiden flight was a success, I hear. I should imagine Emperor Varys is eager to see how it performs in battle. My lords and ladies, I move that it is time to repair the damage caused by Teledji Adeledji and prepare our great nation to repel the Empire once more.
"'Tis well that the Sultana has awoken. The Syndicate yet needs to put its house in order, but 'twould seem the worst of the confusion has passed. Uldar has taken control of its future, and I must do the same. I have decided to disband the Crystal Braves. Among the recruits, there were those who supported our Order's goals and convictions with all sincerity. 'Tis my hope that these loyal men and women will choose to remain our allies in the battles to come. As for those who sided with the traitor, Ilberd, they shall be hunted down and held to account for their crimes. It is my earnest hope that they will surrender themselves peaceably when the time comes, though I think it unlikely. Ah, my all-conquering Crystal Braves. The model army meant to pave the way for a single unified grand company of Eorzea. That so high an ideal should be brought so low. I need not tell you how deeply the betrayal stung me. Yet I see now that it was mine own naivety and pride which allowed the Braves to fall prey to corruption. As ever, it is to your own shining example that I turn for inspiration. Like you, I mean to stand firm in the face of hardship and give mine all for the cause. Let us resume this search for our missing comrades, that we might come together to shine the light of dawn across the realm once more. The role of Crystal Brave Commander suited me ill, and I shall play it no longer. Henceforth, I shall be no more or less than Alphino, proud member of the Scions.
I blush to speak thus of mine inner turmoil. But the fact remains there is no woman alive to whom I would rather confide. Were it not for your shining example, I might never have emerged from beneath the pall of my despair. Ooh, good luck. A brave resolution. Alphino would know how things stand at the Rising Stones. Still no word from Master Garland. I hope this mana cutter of theirs is nearing completion. I am assured that her grace will make a full recovery. I, and Ulda, too, shall flourish once more. General Robon and his colleagues have matters well in hand, I believe. Lady Yugiri, a question, if I may. I believe your people have been keeping close watch on the Crystal Braves? Might you know how things stand at the Rising Stones? Ah, yes, of course. You will be pleased to know that the 3rd Unit Braves abandoned Revenant's Toll when they learned of Captain Ilberd's defeat. The only blue uniforms to be seen there now are those worn by soldiers loyal to you, Master Alphino. To me, I see. I am grateful to hear that at least some of our members were true to their oaths. Ere we return to Ishgard, I must go to the Rising Stones and thank these stalwarts for their service. It shall be my final act as Crystal Brave Commander. Will you join me, Amber? You were there at the company's inception. 'Tis only fitting you be present at its end. And I would appreciate the support. Okay. Pray return to the sinking rock. Commander, you're alive! And Amber, too. I knew you'd scrape through. My splendid Crystal Braves, I have wronged you, all of you. My promises of glory and salvation have brought you naught but blood and betrayal. Bah, you'll not hear us complaining. 'Twas a sight messier than expected, aye, but we was still fighting for the freedom of all, just like we swore. Ain't that right, mates? Aye. You humble me. I am truly blessed to have such steadfast comrades. It is with most profound regret, then, that I must... That's enough of that, Commander. We know that you've a mind to say, and we ain't having none of it. We've talked it over, see, and we're all agreed. You can take our uniforms and strip us of our ranks, but we won't be no less of a company. But the Crystal Braves... The Crystal Braves may be finished, but the ideals upon which the company was founded live on. They bind us to each other and to you. Commander, Alphino. Our minds are made up, so you might as well get used to it. Let us help the Scions. Let us help you find Minfilia and the others. My friends, after all that's happened, I don't know what to say. Aw, baby gonna cry. Dear baby. Pray excuse me. I had thought my tears spent. My grandfather used to say that one could measure a man by the constancy of his comrades. Mayhap I am the exception which proves the rule? Nay, do not protest. I know that I am not worthy of their loyalty, Amber. But as Thaliak is my witness, I shall do everything in my power to earn it. Ready to fly. Alphino has matters to attend to at the Rising Stones. I must speak of future plans with the remaining Braves. Any information we uncover on the missing Scions will need to be shared with our allies across the realm, specifically Urianger and the Waking Sands and Tataru and Ishgard. While we are organizing our various channels of communication, I would ask that you call upon Master Garland at the manufactory. I will join you in Ishgard as soon as I am able. Amber, how in the seven hells did you do it? I was just about to send for you. We have but this moment completed the Magna Cutter's first successful test flight. A few minor adjustments and she'll be ready to go. While we see to the finishing touches, you might want to pay a visit to Forton Manor. A dragoon by the name of Estinian was looking for you. Let me in, let me in. You have fulfilled your obligations to the Uldens, then? Mistress Tataru has been keeping me apprised of the situation. Once I learned that these mana cutters of Master Garland's were nearing completion, I saw no reason to tarry in the mists. For the present, Nidhogg seems content to remain in the Aery, plotting his revenge. Might not this be an apt moment to unfold our plans to Sir Emmerich? I think we have kept him in the dark long enough. Yes, I shall go and speak with him.
All stands ready, Lord Commander.
The moment has come then.
Pray excuse my lateness. I paid a brief visit to the workshop to inquire about the mana cutters. The engineers assure me that they're ready.
The Aery is now but a short flight away. Yet what a long and winding path we took to reach this point. Were it not for Master Alphino's proposal, we never would have attempted to parlay with the dragons. Though our negotiations yielded little, our expedition with Lady Isar taught us much.
You took an unimaginable risk. I could scarce believe the tale Estinian told.
Aye. 'Tis true that many of our countrymen would sooner die than join hands with the heretic's mistress. But 'twas through that most unlikely of alliances that we came to speak with Hraesvelgr.
A conversation that went rather poorly, as I recall.
In this instance, the journey was more important than the destination. Had we not slain Nidhogg's consort, Tiaman, and put the Great Worm on his guard, the Dravanians would have arrived at Ishgard's walls long ago.
Aye, that they would. Full grateful am I for every hour of respite your actions have afforded us. Thanks to you, our defenses are much improved. 'Tis but a pity they won't be enough.
Thus you believe an assault upon the Aery represents the city's best chance of survival. Is that not so, Estinian?
I am under no illusions. Nidhogg's might is legendary. But with his eye in my possession, I can stifle his strength at the source. Victory will be hard won, even so. And I shall be glad indeed to have the Warrior of Light at my side.
You shall have my blade as well. There are more of these mana cutters to be had, yes?
Lord Commander, no!
How can I, a proud knight of Ishgard, stand by and do naught while an outsider risks life and limb for our homeland? I swore an oath to protect this city.
Pray leave the slaying of dragons to dragoons, Sir Knight. Your duty to command the city's defense is no less vital. Should we fail, and Nidhogg slip through our grasp, who then will hold the walls against him? Will you leave Ishgard in the hands of the Holy Sea's zealots?
There are others.
Who but you has the authority and the standing to orchestrate a city-wide defense? I do not, and neither does the Warrior of Light. That is why it is our place to fight, and yours to remain here, Lord Commander. What? You too, Master Alphino? By the Fury! You have shown some promise, but this adversary is far beyond your skills.
Your candor is appreciated, Sir Dragoon. I shall remain then and cheer you from afar.
Well, my friend, 'twould seem I have discouraged the last of the volunteers, and claimed the task as ours alone. But if any alive can best this worm, 'tis surely we too.
Yup. I have pricked Master Alphino's pride, I fear, but had I been less forceful, the boy would have insisted on accompanying us to the Aery. Do not think me blind to his talent. With a few more campaigns under his belt, I have no doubt that Alphino will make a fine field commander. But one does not practice on an adversary such as Nidhogg. We shall be hard-pressed enough without the added worry of carrying a novice. Into the Aery. Estinian is eager to set forth for the Aery. We have tarried long enough. Let us call upon Master Garland and take possession of the mana cutters. Amber, old friend, the cutters are ready when you are. The fine air adjustments cost us a few sleepless nights, but we got there in the end. Which means you can get where you need to go. I tell you, these little beauties will tear through that wind barrier like a cement drill through cottage cheese. And that, my friends, is a Garland Ironworks guarantee. You have our thanks. Come, Warrior of Light, the Dreadworm awaits. Okay. The area is now accessible. Wicked mortals, I shall melt your flesh and turn your bones to ash. The trash pulls are pretty straightforward up to the first boss. Just watch out because the entire way that you're going, AoE circles will randomly happen on the ground. Just step out of them because lightning will strike there. So this boss is fairly easy. You should watch out for electric cash excess. When he casts that, you want to move right up towards him because everywhere else is going to become electrified. He will do a lightning knockback as well, called electrocution. He will target you for AoEs that you just have to move out of, just little circle AoEs, just fine. He'll summon ads as well. And if he puts a lightning tether on you, the statues that are around the outside of the arena, bring the tether to one of the statues so it blows it up and not you. That's pretty much it. Next set of trash is pretty easy. There's going to be barriers in the way. You can feel free to pull all of it to the barrier and then just AoE all of it down. Please watch out for the dragons do AoE. So for this boss, his moves will be Proximity Pyre. Just move away from him because that'll cast fire all around him. He will do Inflammable Fumes, which is going to put clouds on the ground. You want to stay out of those clouds because when he casts Pyre, it'll cause them to blow up. He has a Tank Buster. He has a arena-wide attack called Deafening Bellow. Healers, watch out for that. Just a warning that one of the clouds he does, there's only going to be like a couple of safe spots. So be on the lookout for where is safe to stand and where is not safe to stand. Then he has a body slam where he'll knock everyone back from the middle of the arena. The rest of the trash up until the very last pull, or you're just going to run into constant natural barriers. Just kill everything and you'll be able to move on. Now the ads up here is kind of like a mini gauntlet. Just keep killing them until they don't come anymore. They're fairly easy though, nothing to worry about. Just lots of AoEs to bring them down quickly. You'll know they won't spawn anymore when the crystal to the stairways leading further up to Nidhogg disappears. And this is why I don't do trusts. It's usually quicker to do it with a party. Proper party. So for Nidhogg, he'll do Deafening Blow, which will be a arena-wide AoE. He will do Hot Tail, which will do a large AoE to his front to back. He will do Hot Wing, which will do what his Hot Tail didn't, all the sides. You'll put AoEs under people, you just gotta move out of that. Then there's other AoEs where you can't move out of that. He'll do one where he leaves a field and he will burn down the middle of the field. He will land, which will also do arena-wide AoE. Sable Price, what it'll do is it'll target one non-tank person. You need to destroy the Sable Price. If you don't in time, that person dies. Also, that person cannot attack it themselves. He also has a Tank Buster. And when you get him down to half health, he'll leave, and you have to kill all of the ads before his Fury goes all the way up. If his Fury bar goes all the way to full, you're dead. Then he will do a stack marker after this that you just need a stack for, and that's pretty much it. I got a lizard panda! Got a pet. Thou wouldst use mine own eye against me. Time hath done naught to dilute thy kind's depravity. I have not forgotten thee, Dragoon. Mine essence claimed thee once and shall do so again.
No, worm! This ends here! You gifted my people 1,000 years of suffering! Now I gift you an eternity in darkness.
You sure holding on to both eyes is a wise thing, Estinian? Just thought.
They are ours, Lord Eldrath. The eyes of Nidhogg.
Aye. The worm lies broken and my father is avenged. With the wellspring of his vitality thus denied him, Nidhogg shall not linger long in this world. But behold the terrible price we have paid. My sire is dead. So many brother knights slain. We traded our honor for the strength which now courses in our veins. And still we are forced to make such sacrifice.
But not in vain, my lord. Hraesvelgr is the only great worm left in Dravania, and he dares not leave his lair. With Nidhogg's eyes in your possession, who now can challenge the might of Ishgard, ascend the throne, and take your rightful place as the ruler of our people?
Nay, my friend. I must forsake the mantle of king. Though Nidhogg be defeated, his wormling horde yet darkens the skies with wings beyond counting. As one who partook of Ratatoska's strength, it shall be my penance to bear a knight's arms until death grants me leave to retire. When that day comes, no prince shall perish, but a hell's-bound hunter of dragons.
But Lord Haldreth, what then shall become of the royal line?
Think of your people, my lord. Without a king, who will the common man turn to in his hour of need? How will he find his way without your benevolent hand to guide him?
I thank you, Sir Flavian and Sir Silvertrill, for dispelling my remaining doubts. With men of such wisdom and compassion in service to the realm, 'tis plain that Ishgard has no need of a king. But if you must bow to the demands of tradition, you need look no further than yourselves for one worthy to wear the crown. Fare thee well, my brother knights, my loyal friends. On these shoulders shall I bear the weight of my father's sins. With this lance shall I repay the debt accrued through our misdeeds.
What cruel jest has fate played upon us? Have we seized this desperate victory only to lose a king?
We can but act as our lord has bid. We few who remain must divide between us the rulership of Ishgard and her people.
Not I. My oath was to Lord Haldreth, and he alone. If he is not to be king, then I would hang up my shield as well.
Will you abandon us too, sir?
I would wash my hands of blood and betrayal, and take up an honest trade. Mayhap I shall serve ale instead of sharpened steel.
We four, then.
Forton, Hylanat, Dyrendare, and Zemile. But 4 houses to rule all of Ishgard.
And what of the throne?
We keep it empty. Until the day a king rises once more. We must assume the role of stewards. We shall shape our nation anew with a history of our own making, and let the truth of this dark day die here, upon the battlefield.
Well, snap.
What ails you, friend? Are you wounded? You have borne witness to history,
to the culmination of the first battle with Nidhogg. The legend of Ishgard's founding tells that our ancestors were led to the land of Kurthus by the valiant King Thordan. In the midst of their journey, they came to a wide chasm, where they were set upon by a great worm, Nidhogg. A furious battle then ensued, with Thordan leading the van. Though the brave king was slain defending his people, his son, Haldrath, the first Azure Dragoon, fought on undaunted. And with a mighty thrust of his lance, he gouged out Nidhogg's eye, forcing the wicked creature into retreat. Thus did this eldritch orb become a sacred treasure of Ishgard, lending its power to every knight deemed worthy to bear the title of Azure Dragoon. A rousing tale, is it not? Would that I could still believe it. But your vision, which we must accept as immutable truth, leaves no room for doubt, save on one point. If Haldrath took both of Nidhogg's eyes, then how came this eye to be lodged in the worm's skull?
It's a different color, it says brothers.
Beneath every answer we unearth, another question lies buried. 'Twas a fierce battle, but one I knew we would win. Your fame is well deserved, warrior of light. Full proud am I to have fought at your side. I would fain return with all swiftness to Ishgard to inform the Lord Commander of our triumph. But we must first have words with Hraesvelgr. There are parts of this tale that the worm has kept from us, and I would know wherefore.
Though Nidhogg is fallen, my heart is yet heavy, and this stain of corruption pleases me not. When all has been put to rest, I must needs forge my armor anew. The song begins. Estinian would know the origin of Nidhogg's mysterious eye. With Nidhogg fallen, none save Hraesvelgr remains to answer our questions. Let us trouble the worm again. And if Iceheart yet lingers at zenith, all the better. I would have her hear the truth from the dragon's maw. To zenith. "'Twas you, was it not? The furious screams of the dragons carried far. You have slain Nidhogg. What more could you desire from this place? Will you not allow Hraesvelgr to mourn the death of his kin in peace? Spare us your sanctimonious judgment, Ice Maiden. We have a gift for the Great Worm, and a mystery that can no longer lie buried. Lady Arsheart, the Dragonsaw War has all but consumed your life and claimed many of your followers. 'Tis time you learn the truth of its beginning, the whole truth, that we might at last bring this bitter conflict to an end. Sound the horn, Warrior of Light. Impenitent mortals, ever seeking to bury old wrongs under new. I did sense the moment of Nidhogg's demise.
You mean the moment I prized your eye from his head?
Twould seem thou hast uncovered my secret. I, unto the blinded Nidhogg did I yield 1/2 of my strength. Drank too much this already night. Oh, man. Nidhogg, what hath befallen thee? We are undone by covetous mortals. They did take Hraesvelgr's eyes and glut their appetites upon her essence. She is slain, then? What madness hath unmade our peaceful accord? Did I not warn thee, brood brother? They have ever been untrustworthy creatures, these short-lived Elysian. But thou wert enchanted by thy mortal maid. Thy folly hath cost Hraesvelgr her life, and me mine eyes. Oh, my beloved Shiva, how swiftly are thy kin made bestial by their appetites. Hraesvelgr, 'twas thy blindness that did invite disaster into our lands. Surrender thee an eye to me, and let that be thy penance. Nidhogg. They bested me once, but I was reckless. I shall need but a single eye to inflict enduring torment upon these traitors and every child of their line. Yield to me thy strength, brood brother. My vengeance has begun. Thou hast borne witness to a scene from my past.
It was yours. Your strength that sustained Nidhogg all these years.
Would that Haldreth had dealt the worm a killing blow.
When my brood brother did appear before me, bloody and blinded, his life was all but spent. He demanded half my vigor that he might exact his revenge upon the mortals who had wronged us.
And so you acquiesced. You surrendered your eye to Nidhogg, knowing full well the suffering he would inflict.
The peace my beloved so dearly desired had been shattered by her own kin. Their treachery claimed my brood sister's life and my brood brother's reason. Thinkest thou thy fits of indignation will move me to remorse? Go, mortals, take your unruly passions and leave this place. Your presence here spelleth naught but misery. Were it not for Shiva's soothing embrace, I would slay you where you stand. Woe betide you should the bond we share ever weaken. Unrest in Ishgard. Estinian is frustrated by yet another mystery. Though he lifted not a single claw, 'twould seem that Hraesvelgr wreaked his own manner of vengeance against us.
"'Twas my life's goal to slay Nidhogg, but I find there is little joy to be had in its accomplishment.
But you have rid the world of a hate-filled creature, and ended a bloody war in so doing.
I lost my family to Nidhogg's flames, and 'twas with fury in my heart that I took up the lance. Every blow I struck in the name of vengeance. We were not so different, he and I.
I will not judge you for your deeds. I have not the right. Too many innocents have perished in the name of my greater good.
Yet even with all that has passed, the tale is incomplete. We are short a great worm's eye. Of the pair which Haldreth took from Nidhogg, only one is known to us, the one I bear. What then became of the other? Why did Nidhogg, who had taken such pains to prolong the Dragonsong War, suddenly decide to hurl his entire army against the walls of Ishgard?
Because that's where his other eye is.
Lord Commander. Aye. The deed is done. Nidhogg is slain. What? In the city? A battle with whom? At once, Lord Commander. Hold firm till our return. Fighting has broken out in the city. Lord Emmerich was sparse with the particulars, but it seems some commoners threw open the gates to a force of heretics.
I gave no order to attack.
Are we to mark the end of the Dragon Song War by spilling the blood of our own? Mayhap Hraesvelgr was right about us. Let us away, Warrior of Light. The people must be saved from themselves.
Wait! I would join you! There has been enough violence. I will appeal to my people in the city and make them see reason.
Come then, Lady Iceheart. Let us write the final chapter in this damnable war.
A small army of heretics has invaded the city, Your Eminence. But there is no cause for concern. A sizable contingent of our soldiers is already in place to repel the Dravanian assault. And the intruders will soon find themselves outnumbered and outmatched.
Our plans proceed apace, then?
Yes, Your Eminence. This unrest shall serve to feed the people's fear of the heretics and the dragons both.
And lend renewed fervor to their prayers for deliverance. Very good. Grant our guests what time they need to sow a measure of chaos, then order the Temple Knights to crush them.
Your will be done.
The moment is at hand. Excellent. All shall soon be in alignment. It is time for the Bringer of Light to die.
Comrades! Sheathe your swords! There is no need for further bloodshed!
My lady!
She is come!
Hear me, brothers and sisters! The war is ended! Nidhogg is no more! Aye! It is so! This adventurer and the Azure Dragoon laid the Great Worm low! The endless cycle of violence between man and dragon was born of our forefathers' treachery. You have followed me, bled with me, to bring this truth to light that we might all know peace. But Nidhogg is dead. Nidhogg is dead, my friends! He who bore such hatred towards Ishgard is dead! Let his hatred die with him, I say! Let us sheathe our swords and go in peace!
Have we lost?
No, my friend! Far from it! At long last, the peace for which we have so desperately fought is within our grasp, and I, for one, would not forsake it!
Peace?
Seize the witch! Let none escape!
Providing aid and succor to the wounded should be our first concern. If the heretics mean to observe the peace, then it would be folly not to do the same.
That was rather too close for comfort, but 'twould seem that calm is returning to the streets. My mind, however, yet clamors with 1,000 questions. You return to Ishgard in the oddest of company, my friend. Money. He who would not be denied. Lord Hraesvelgr has more than a few questions to ask. That, my friends, was rather too close for comfort. Praise alone that things did not end in bloodshed. I confess I was more than a little dismayed to see you in the company of Lady Iceheart. Whatever is going on, Amber? Beg pardon? You traveled to the Churning Mist together, along with Estinian? Never was there a more unlikely alliance, nor one so magnificently effective. Nidhogg dead, the heretics pacified. Father and Sir Amric must know of this. Let us break the news to them together. I will bring Sir Amric to Four Toms Manor. Yes, an excellent suggestion. Very well, Amber and I shall await you there. Thanks for joining me for this installment of my Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough. Hope it was enjoyable, aside from my poor job at voice acting. Feel free to give feedback in the comments below or just to say hi. I may not respond, but I do read all of my comments. Feel free to follow the links to my socials below and drop by Twitch to say hi there too when I stream. Tap that sub button if you want to see what on YouTube, and as always, thanks for watching and I hope you all take care. See you guys for the next video. Until then, stay safe and ciao.